What up, everybody? This is Late Night Live, episode 63. And I think we're just missing Dathan tonight. I'm not sure what he was doing. Did he say? He's out doing something. What's going on, Biggie D? If you're in the chat, be sure to say hi. I see, let's see, Billy Woods is here. Meatball Saucy is in the chat. And some guy named Asa Jax Media Grounds. What's up? I don't know who that is.
Never do.
So,
yeah.
Real quick before I talk about anything, rest in peace, George Foreman. So, hopefully, did you guys all have a George Foreman grill?
It takes care of that fat, just burns it right off.
Yeah. What's going on, Jason? I think everyone had a George Foreman. That's what I remember George Foreman for the most, unfortunately. What's going on, Alikrian? Let's see. So, Asa Jax Media Grounds. Chris, what's going on? How was your gaming week?
It was actually pretty fun. I went back, played the original Space Quest, beat it.
Nice.
Picked up Xenoblade Chronicles X yesterday for the Switch, and played a bit of that.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm more. I'm surprised by the fact that somehow Monolith Soft has made a game that looks huge and it has one loading screen, which is getting you into the game, and then there are no other loading screens. So once you get into it, you can just play.
What's going on, J-Rod? Yeah. Sorry to break the news on you, buddy.
Yeah. So, yeah. And I'm going to try and get the Space Quest 2 this weekend, maybe. But we got Bit Brigade tomorrow night. So that'll be a fun one.
Have you never beaten the Space Quest games?
Nope. Never beaten them.
What?
I played the King's Quest games and beat those, but I never played Space Quest.
That's crazy. Well, my favorite is 2. I think Eric disagrees with me. Maybe I think he thinks 3 is the best. Maybe 4.
Okay, we can get into it, but the real answer is I started on 3. Like that was the first machine game that I played on a DOS machine was 3. So it's probably nostalgia. Also, I don't think I played 2 in the original version. I've played 2 at the point and click feature, but not as the.
Wait, they made a point and click of 2?
Didn't they redo it?
I don't know. Maybe they did. Actually. Did they?
They did like a VGA version. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, for me, 2 was the best because that was the first Space Quest I ever played. But
me too.
It was all keyboard, and that's where I like partially learned how to type. Because at one point you get in you get locked up by this monster after you steal the gem in the cave, and the only way to you have to distract him and you have to type really quick at that point. And I was struggling with that, but I got it. You know, I don't know how old was I, 8 years old or something.
Yeah, I don't remember that part.
They want to know already, Eric, what are you eating tonight?
We'll get to it.
Okay. What's going on, Galaga guy? Saying Spirits. How you doing, my friend? Also. Oh, and then who's this guy? Who's this guy?
There he is.
The real answer is 4 because I say so.
When we started the podcast, for some reason, the music kept playing for me, and then this is the second week in a row that it's done this, and then I come in and can actually hear people talking halfway through the beginning session.
Yeah,
must be a syncing problem. I had that.
It must be. Yeah. Did you have that problem, or you did not?
No.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think last week I had YouTube open in another tab, and that was affecting my audio. I was like, "Oh, why is there delay?"
Well, I could hear the intro song. The intro song just started again. It just looped. Yeah, kind of interesting. Anyway,
if you guys, hopefully everyone in the chat, it sounds okay on your end.
Yeah.
I
mean, it sounds fine now.
Rating me, Galaga guy 88. So a lot of streams tonight. Galaga Guy 88 had a stream. I saw Kong had a stream. We've got Wondercon. Cornercade had a stream. So a lot of guys talking about that. But Travis.
Good evening, everybody.
Yeah.
So I played a lot, actually. A lot of various things. So I started up Inscryption. Well, I beat Inscryption, and then I just kind of continued playing it when I was bored. I played the ray traced version of Portal, so Portal RTX. And then I played Assassin's Creed Mirage, so I've still been continuing in that. And I've been playing Balatro and Hearthstone just in between when I need to get to sleep. Balatro still works like magic.
Are you going to be getting Assassin's Creed Shadows? If you haven't answered that already.
So let's see. So in Assassin's Creed Mirage, here's my annoyance in it. Why is the center area like completely hostile to you? Like, is that how the earlier Assassin's Creeds were, where like just massive blocks of the map were just completely hostile to you? Or is that unique to this one? So you've got the perimeter cities, and then you've got the area, the center circle where like all of the elite live. So I get it. I get why they're hostile, but like in the beginning, it keeps trying to throw me to areas that require you to go through there to get to the other side to talk to people. So the way around it is to jump in the river and swim around the perimeter and then get up and go that way to go meet with people, or to jump up and then kind of roof jump all the way across the elite place. You guys don't know though, because you didn't play Mirage.
Yeah, I haven't played
it. The only one who did. Eric, you might like it though. I still stand by that. You might like Assassin's Creed games. They do have the creative element of how to do the quests with the stealth stuff.
That's cool.
But it's not first person, so it's not first person Thief, but it does surprise me that there are multiple ways to do stuff. Anyway, I like it. It's cool, but it's kind of I just found out, I guess I missed this bit of news, but Last of Us 2 is coming to PC on the 3rd. So not next week, but the week after that. So I don't know if I'll play that in between the Assassin's Creed games just to break it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So
cool.
I heard Last of Us Part 2 was good. So, but I also heard that about Last of Us, and I thought Last of Us was like 2.5 out of 4 stars is what I'd give Last of Us.
Last of Us for me was too depressing, and I don't know.
Oh,
get into it.
The beginning's depressing for sure. I just wish that one girl would have survived. I like it better than the one that you have to tag along with the entire game.
Yeah, I got to the point where you meet the Black family and they commit suicide or whatever.
Yeah,
that was too much for me. Like
that was too much. It's a heavy game, but I didn't feel like it. Like the acting was good. That I can say that about all these Sony games that I've played. The acting in them is all like top notch. And the storytelling is good from the ones that I've played. Whether you like the story or not, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm actually just talking about the narrative and the way that they deliver the story and all of that. The production value is good. But for some reason, the Last of Us didn't really pull out the heartstrings at all. Like it doesn't. I didn't feel a tie to any of the characters really. The only one that I did was the little girl in the beginning, his first daughter.
Oh, right,
or his daughter. And then I was like halfway through the game, I'm like, dang it, why couldn't that one have lived? Like I liked her. So yeah, a little brutal in that. But yeah, I am looking forward to, I guess, to playing it, because every game that I've played of the Sony stuff that has been ported to PC, I now totally get why people are PlayStation fans. Like I just get it. They're good games. I mean, whether they're good games or not, I guess there's debate there. But they're well done, they're entertaining, and they're I get it. I understand how people can lose themselves in them. Whether they're super challenging, whether they're blah blah blah, that's up for debate. But the fact of the matter is they're well done. So I'm having a great time when they port them over to PC. I think that's super cool.
Awesome.
So I want to support that every chance I get.
No, I totally agree with you. Like They do a great job on their games. There's a reason why they're always in the winning game of the year and stuff. Chris, you agree with me, right? Like Sony stuff's top notch.
Sony specifically, their stuff, their studio and everything. A lot of their stuff is up there. I'd say as far as studios go, Nintendo and Sony are the two they constantly like. But I mean, Microsoft has like let a lot of the good studios go, like not do anything with their IPs.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that the games aren't derivative. I'm not saying that it isn't that you're always helping a kid.
They're not humans going on a fantastical journey.
Right, correct. I'm not discussing that because just like Hollywood, certain studios can put out well-produced movies that are entertaining, but at the end of the day are just schlock. But that's okay, right? Games can do the same thing. So all that I'm saying is for all of the Sony stuff that's moved over to PC, and again, they could be cherry picking this stuff. I've been surprised at even the games that I didn't think I would like Uncharted, completely not at all something that I thought was going to be anything. Like I thought I'd return it to Steam like right away. I didn't know anything about it, and it just didn't really seem like anything I was going to get, like anything that I was going to gravitate towards, and it ended up being one of my favorite games that I had played last year. So I just want to support them doing that because as a PC gamer, it gives me a lot more content without having to go buy a PlayStation to get it.
Well, sure. I mean, what's the point in buying a console if you've got a PC that will run the games?
Because if you want to keep it relevant, that console costs you $400, and now an upper mid-tier video card costs $1,500 to $1,600 MSRP.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I'm still running the same PC that I bought back in 2016.
Sure, but go download Indiana Jones and see how good of an experience that is.
It runs fine on the Xbox Game Pass on my PC.
Oh, on your PC it does, because it does force ray tracing, and I guess they released a patch that turned that off, right?
So, and it may have been a case of if you bought it through Steam, there's more because Microsoft. The one thing that I hate about the Game Pass on PC is that it seems like every day there's an update for it.
The Game Pass. The Game Pass. The Game Pass.
But every game that I install through Game Pass seems to be optimized to be able to function. Okay. So I was able to play Indiana Jones on my PC, but I'm sure if I'd bought it through Steam, I probably would have had to gone in and change settings to do it. I can't play. I bought Cyberpunk 2077 through Steam, and I can't play it.
You can't play it
when I load it up. It's like everything is blocky, and there's nothing can load. So
3 frames per second, right?
Yeah.
So now, good for you for making that PC last a long time. But the reason I got into PC gaming was equally as much building the PC and tinkering with the PC as it was actually playing games. Like oddly enough, I find that relaxing and fun and and exciting, right? To tinker
we were
and to
doing
build.
that since we were kids.
Exactly, we've been doing that since we were kids. So I have a 5080 and I'm still on the hunt for a 5090. I don't need either of those, right? Well, I mean, arguably, I made a really stupid move selling the 4090 months and months ago, thinking that that the 5080 would trounce, because NVIDIA's 80 series always has trounced the previous gen's flagship card. This is the first time that that's not the case. The 4090 outperforms the 5080 straight up. I've had to overclock the 5080. I've got a plus 385 core clock on it to get it within about 10% of what the 4090 could do that I sold. So it was completely boneheaded assumption on my part to do that. So because I'm a tinkerer and because I'm like, well, what am I missing out on? Now I'm still in the hunt for a 5090. right? Like I'm still in the hunt for one of those. Well, I've got the return period through Newegg for the 5080.
Well, I did that one year. I built a PC from scratch, and I do
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's one of those things where it's like I don't have the expendable cash for something like that.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
I get kind of the same enjoyment out of building these stupid Legos.
Yep. No, you totally do. And it's weird to me that I've never gotten into hobbies like puzzles and Legos and things like that. I never ever have. And I don't know why, because to me that is weird because that same sort of thing is there, right?
Yeah.
But for some reason the PC thing is just like Eric said, it harkens back to like nostalgia, right? Now, the thing I would say about the PC building stuff and the cash aspect of it is once you're in, because of the pandemic, that changed everything there. So like I can sell and replace and not take a hit on stuff like at all. Like I can take old motherboards and processors and throw them up on eBay and get good cash for them. Whereas before you couldn't, but this is because I've kept up on it, right?
Yeah.
If you go a couple generations behind, then it doesn't work that way. But because stock is in such short demand, you can actually get pretty close to breaking even on everything and keeping, as long as you're patient and
Short
as long
supply.
as you got a lot of work. Yep. With short supply, that's there, right? So that's the reason I can do it. It's the same thing with my music hobby. It's not like I'm made of cash and it's like, oh, I've just got cash to go throw on this. It's sell gear, sock that away, and then wait and buy when you can find it, right? But I would argue my point, back to the original point, that's what makes the PlayStation super attractive, though. Because what are they right now on the market? Aren't they like $450 or something like that?
I think the
Yeah.
original was 500.
Yeah.
Let's introduce Eric. By the way, Eric, how are
hello,
you?
friends. I'm doing okay. I've been sick.
Oh, okay.
Can never being sick. That's why I might sound a little funny today.
Doing any gaming at all?
I did. What did I play? I played a little Balatro. I played some more Crimson Diamond, which has been fun. It gets fun in Act 2. And then I started playing Mark of the Ninja, which is a 2D game.
Oh, cool.
It seems well done.
You like those? Is it a sneaking game where you?
Yeah, but yeah, it's good. It's fine. It's good. I think what I'm looking for in a stealth game is a little bit different than what this is presenting, but that's okay. This is still fun.
Eric likes his stealth games.
I do. Yeah, so I've been sick, so tonight I'm doing a Portiskeag Scotch with a little bit of honey and lime juice. I didn't have any lemon, so that's my toddy to help clear up my cough. That's what I'm eating.
Yeah,
tonight.
but what about eating?
That's another episode.
I had quiche earlier, but I haven't had anything for dinner yet. So.
Well, myself, I've been playing basically MLB The Show 25. I've already sunk 21 hours into it.
Wow.
And it's
Still playing the Ducks?
Yep, still playing with the Ducks with my Diamond Dynasty team, and it's a lot of fun. It keeps track of your stats with your team really well this year. So, like, one of my players just hit like his 50th double, and it shows it right on the screen. Like, it keeps. I love baseball stats and that kind of stuff, and this like really will kind of write. If one of your players has an achievement like that, it'll bring it to the screen and show it off. That's cool. Just a little touch like that I like. I have not played Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I know that was that's our main topic tonight. I don't know if any of us have. So that's what that's the main topic tonight, and maybe I think Dathan was gonna get it, but he's not here. But we'll talk about this. I wanted to talk about the Mariners, oddly, with Nintendo. South of Midnight got a release date. And if you guys want to talk about my video I put out earlier this week, well, I think there's some good conversation there, maybe, if you guys didn't see my video. Baseball has too many stats. Yeah, okay. What's going on? But so, all right. So this is the main controversy I saw with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Is there's a little hanky panky between the female characters, and
the controversy.
Yeah, they're saying this isn't accurate to feudal Japan.
Oh, that must be okay. So I ignored the spoilers, and I did see that there was a lot of like Ubisoft needs to quit with the. I forget what the complaint was, but that they need to. That's what they said, that they get themselves into trouble because they say that things are historically accurate, and they need to stop that. And in this game, they got themselves into trouble because something that they did, must have been that, wasn't historically accurate to the time, but they used that as the excuse to choose the protagonist that they did, as opposed to using a Japanese, like a true Japanese protagonist.
Can you slow this down a bit? I could try. What part do you want me to slow down? But like, no, how do we know this wasn't historically accurate? That's like my question. Like,
because the smoke bombs on her hip, they clip into her right there. So that's not accurate. That's inaccurate. That's historically inaccurate.
What? Was this in history class, or how do you like what? I don't know.
When did Deep Space Nine have their first same gender kiss with the?
It was like the second or third season, yeah.
Yeah. So what was that? 1999, 98? Maybe?
No, that would have been 94 or 93.
No, it wouldn't.
Oh yeah.
Your timelines are off, my friend.
No, Deep Space Nine.
Keyboard Chris.
What am I looking at?
Deep Space Nine debuted in 1993, almost positive. So it'd have been a year or two after that.
93. Deep Space Nine.
You're talking to the Trekkie here. But what's your point with what's your point with Deep Space Nine?
Joined.
I'm just saying this can't be controversial. This is well trodden ground in terms of like entertainment. We've seen two women kiss before. Why is this?
Well, no.
Apparently not. Apparently some people haven't.
The controversy was that from what I saw, what people were upset about, again, I didn't know that it had to do with this because I was avoiding spoilers, was that it wasn't historically accurate and that they used historical accuracy as an excuse to put a black protagonist in the game as opposed to a Japanese
and things that were
historical figure.
Obviously written down by every historian every time they occurred.
Yeah,
everywhere. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know, but it could have been a
probably
Japanese.
Weren't allowed to write.
Right, but it could have been like a Japanese person, like a citizen of Japan, writing this as an argument, saying that it wasn't historically accurate, and I'm mad because you chose. Remember, it all stemmed from who they chose as their protagonist.
Sure. Yeah.
So it goes way back to earlier last year when we were talking about that. Right. So there was a lot of butthurt. You chose a black protagonist and not a Japanese protagonist when you finally based an Assassin's Creed in Japan, which we've been waiting so long for.
Oh, I'm not touching controversy with a 10-foot pole there, Meatball Saucy.
We can get into our VHS porno.
That's not a controversy. That's a great topic.
But yeah, I'm not saying that I buy into any of it as controversy one bit. I mean, I think that you're kind of way over invested in something if you're super mad that they finally set a video game in your country of choice and they didn't choose a protagonist that you wanted them to choose. Like that's a level of crazy I can't deal with. Like
everyone in the chat seems like they're really enjoying this video. You guys better give me a like for this.
It was 1995. Just so that you were closest without going over Price is Right rules. You totally.
Oh,
I was gonna say what I found was it was season
over,
4,
Johnny.
episode 6.
It's over.
So whenever season 4 occurred, so yeah. Yep, VHS collection. It's the best thing you can have.
But you know, all of those games, I'm surprised that this game has had so much controversy, and I would be curious to see based off the versus the other ones that exist, because like the one that I'm playing now is set in the Middle East, and I'm guessing that if I looked, there could be things that should be controversial in that as well. It's just I'm just kind of playing it like whatever, you know. I take that historical accuracy with a grain of salt. I would be very curious to see if the people who are mad, what country they're based in and what their background is, that makes them the vocal critic, right? I would be curious about that.
they're from Texas.
Well, and if they are, then that lends a whole different thing to why they're mad, probably, right? But yeah, this game for sure, it's been nonstop. Like people are angry about it.
Apparently, they did change the DLC for Assassin's Creed Odyssey because of controversy.
Yes, because you could now this part I did read. I don't. Again, I'm trying to avoid spoilers with it, but I believe it's because you could either kill in or vandalize the sacred temples, like some sacred temple to the Japanese.
No. I'm talking Odyssey. So the one that was set in
the one that was in Greece. Yeah.
The DLC, they apparently, because there was a lot of backlash from I guess people in Greece, they actually changed the DLC.
That's odd because the island of Lesbos, I believe, is in Greece, is it not?
Well, but they wouldn't have changed that though, right? Like because the DLC doesn't have anything to do with that.
Is this the first hot lesbian stuff we've seen in a video game? Like now I'm trying to rack my brain when
Baldur's Gate 3.
No, because every single role-playing game, it seems like in the last 5 years has had the option, or 10 years, whatever, has had the option for there's a character that doesn't care what gender or identity your character has. They'll just be like, hey, what do you say? And then they do the animation stuff to make that happen if you choose to follow that path.
I was thinking actually Mass Effect. You can be the female shepherd. And then you can still go after the females in that game.
Right. Baldur's Gate was that way. Or not Baldur's Gate 3, but Dragon's Age was that way. Like any of the role-playing games in the last 10 years. But I don't see it as to be more controversial than any other one.
Meatball Saucy, you need to play Mass Effect 2.
It's a great game.
Yeah, it's a great game. We'll just say that.
Hey, Alikrian, that's not true, is it?
Yeah, there is a 7-minute clip where the Prime Minister of Japan said there was action that will be taken. And part of that is their belief is that because people are going to be able... Because of the way in the last couple of years tourists have been acting in Japan, they have now started revoking people's abilities to go into areas of the country because they're destroying landmarks. And so because of that, their belief is that people go and play this game, they destroy a landmark, they're going to come to the country and do the same thing. So
so that was the controversy that I did see about the shrines then, and how they changed it so you can no longer vandalize the shrines, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
So
this is a free space for you guys. So.
and apparently what the actual backlash over the Assassin's Creed Odyssey was, the DLC required your character to have a relationship and conceive a baby as part of the storyline for the DLC.
Mm-hmm.
And so
the
LGBT community was upset because they invalidated their same-sex relationships in the main storyline by forcing that upon them. I'm like, okay.
I mean, but if you play That's so dumb because you play games where your character is forced to make choices. That's kind of role playing in a way,
Yeah.
right? Like that's outside of right. You don't want to be you.
Yeah.
Right?
So this, you get to be a female character that gets to be with another female character. Like,
I'm just happy to be in there somewhere.
how much is this game? Like, yeah, let's go get it. What's going on?
See, based on what I've read about this, the thing that's turned me off from wanting to play it is that it plays just like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Valhalla, and I didn't like those games. So I didn't like the gameplay. I didn't like the open world feeling they gave. And so because of that, if this is just like those, I don't want to play this. I don't want to sit there.
Hold on. I'm real curious about your statement that the open world feeling of it is a negative. Can you talk about that more?
So Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it felt like your missions were too far apart. Like they had you go from one side of the map to the other side of the map just for you to go back to get another mission to go back to the other side of the map you were just at.
Okay.
And
sorry to interrupt, but correct me if I'm wrong here. It sounds like the distance between plot points was too far rather than the idea that you could pick up whatever mission you wanted to go do. And like that was fine with you, but it's just the distance between places.
Yeah, just when you have to constantly like spend 20-30 minutes traveling between areas. And I don't remember if Odyssey had the ability for you to fast travel from areas.
It did. Well, the way that they do it is they allow you to go into cinematic mode when you're on your mount or in your boat, right? And that gets you there just real fast.
Breath of the Wild was like that for me too, a bit.
Which one?
Breath of the Wild, Zelda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alikrian, I did see that Best Buy has this on sale now, but I will say in response, Ubisoft did say that this game already has 1 million players. Not a million copies sold, but 1 million. They do have 1 million players playing it right now.
I myself am not a player. I just I don't have a machine that'll play.
Right.
Hey,
we're getting you some copies sold here, Ubisoft.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's 1 million. May not.
They might give us a super chat.
It may not be what they want, in all honesty.
Right.
Because with them delaying it, they said it was an extra 20 million that they had to spend in order to do the whatever they needed to do. And so does that million people playing, does that cover that 20 million? Does it cover the initial cost?
Doesn't mean anything.
So
the other thing, real quick, and I'm going to leave this video up because you guys are really liking it. Have you heard about the credits for this game? Somebody's already beaten it. Did you hear about the credits?
That's a spoiler. That's a massive spoiler. You can't ruin it.
I'm not ruining anything, but did you hear how long the credits are?
Oh, they've got to. If it's like even Inscription, which was a simple game, had credits that went on for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I also fast forwarded through the credits.
Yeah, me too.
Apparently, this is unconfirmed, but there's a guy on Twitter that says the credits are 2 hours long.
That's bonkers.
He posted a video of it, but I'm not sitting there and watching it.
Well, because Inscription, I thought that the credits were going to be one person, and then it went to the sound designer, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. So 2 people that made that game.
Yeah.
And then it just kept going.
Yeah.
Like, what?
No,
this isn't real. Yeah. I actually thought the guy who was acting in that game was the guy who made the game. So no offense to the guy who was the actor, but that's kind of what I thought of the acting, I guess.
Do you think they did some good mocap for this scene right here? Like, how does
yeah, of course they did, right? Like,
hold on.
These games.
Let's scan through the 2 hours and look for the intimacy coordinator, and then
I don't think they did, because those grenades are clipping through. That's not great mocap.
Or did they use like 2 fat guys and then they like
2 fat guys? It was one.
It was just one guy.
One guy. They just split him in half.
who was also the designer of the game, it turns out.
Developers.
In an odd twist, it was the one of the actors was the creator of Inscription.
Yeah, weird. And the actor Inscription helped write the dialogue here. It's weird.
That's right.
Dude, Meatball Saucy, thank you, bro. You didn't have to do that. Thank you.
Dathan's going to be pumped. $10 closer to the claw machine.
Claw machine.
Maybe one of those actresses had a claw machine. I guess like when it comes to video game controversy,
seems like you guys like this controversy.
Well, it's just strange.
Everyone likes it.
It is just strange because again, with the Assassin's Creed Odyssey one, the whole point of playing one of these games is to not be the person. But then if you're playing a game like Life is Strange and you pick a choice, like, do these same people get that bent out of shape over games where the narrative is there and you're just going through and choosing different choices? Like, it's just very strange how people get so spun up over things. Like, do those people get mad when they go see a movie? And, well, maybe they do. Yeah, I bet they do.
Maybe.
And they
don't
agree with the plot twist or the change.
That one family that went and saw Deadpool and they were completely outraged after they were in the theater and realized this is a Deadpool movie. Do you remember that?
Oh, because they had kids.
I thought you were frozen for a second there, Chris. Your mouth was
I think that was the scene is causing me to go into
this scene's getting to you.
Yeah, I mean, well, and I do remember it, and I think it was like Travis said, it was kids. But to your point, Travis, I think throughout time, back when I worked at Hollywood Video, I had someone who had rented Conker's Bad Fur Day for their son,
right.
And it's like an M-rated game.
Yeah,
they came back in and threw it at me because they're like, "How dare you let me rent this game for my son?" And it's like, you're an adult. Decision.
So I like to pretend that when I hear things that I think are just completely ludicrous, that's just like 1% of the population, and I can just discard it and go about my day, and that's just that person, right? So I'm hoping that that's what happened in the case of the Assassin's Creed Odyssey thing, that it was just 1% of the people, and we can just discard that opinion as just nonsense, and just move on, right?
It's clearly something that I'm sure if I were to do more research, you'd probably find there's controversy with every Assassin's Creed that's ever come out, and after it's been out for a while, it goes away. So there's there's the people that are upset, and in this case, it certainly is one of those where it's like, I can kind of see the point of view of people being like, look at how tourists have been treating our country as they've come in the last 2 years. And here's something else that maybe will embolden people to be like, hey, look, it's so cool to destroy these things in the game. Why don't I do it in real life? Yeah. It may only be 1%, but it's like, I can kind of understand where they're coming from. It doesn't mean I agree with what they're saying or their logic to get there, but I can understand it.
So my limited understanding of Japanese culture, and I don't understand it very well at all, so take this with a massive grain of salt, but my understanding is that they are very protective of their culture. And so the amount of outrage you might be hearing might not represent the number of people. It just might be more severe because the people who feel that outrage are expressing it more vocally. And in their defense, I've seen very recently the Japanese people have had to deport American influencers who are going to Japan and being very rude. Things that might not be very rude in the United States, but they are in Japan, and these people are walking around doing these rude things, and so the government had to get involved and get these people out of the country because they were no longer welcome. So if you couple those two things together, it might make sense that this could be seen as disrespectful, and you'd hear a lot of noise about it online by the people who see it as disrespectful.
Yeah, and I mean, it's understandable from their point of, like, from where they're coming from. I mean, one of the things that I've kind of seen as far as the Japanese culture go is when you eat food, you're supposed to make noise. That means you've enjoyed the food.
That's true of soup, yeah.
To me,
noodles.
I would murder a bunch of people if they're all sitting around slurping and making noise.
When I was in Japan training, I was doing training in Japan, and one of the things that took me, somebody had to pull me aside and explain what was going on. But when the people that I was with, anyway, I can't say this about everybody, but with the group that I was with was being trained, they would constantly hum when I was talking. So I would be, okay, so what do we have over here is this and this, what they'd be, and I would stop and I'd be like, what? And then everybody, they would like get like the surprise, like, and then, you know, I would continue and then, and so finally I was like, what is up with this? With my Japanese colleague who was able to speak very good English, he was the one who was like, oh, this is a culture difference.
Yeah.
And then he explained to me what was going on, that it was active listening, and that it would be rude if they weren't doing that. And so then I was like, oh, okay, so I was able to tune it out. But what I do find interesting about all of this is, like, you should just be able to just move on, I would think. Like, there are movies and games and things that I disagree with morally all the time.
Sure.
But I just say, okay, to each their own, and then I just move on. Right. It's just interesting to me that people say, no, fork in the road, stop. You need to change this. That to me is interesting. Like, that means in that the audience is dictating the art so much so that it can't just exist and you can't just agree to disagree with it. That's a problem in my opinion.
Yeah, here's an idea: just don't play it.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, that's my point. So at least that's how I act. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions, yada yada yada. But that's how I act. Is if I don't like it, I just don't buy it or consume it, or I shut it off and move on. Right? Like, but I don't get mad about it. I'm just like, well, okay, that's.
I don't know. I have to go to Yelp and write a review.
Yeah. Well, now the interesting thing though is, why Assassin's Creed? Why is it always this game? Like, why do people get so hot and bothered over Assassin's Creed and feel this ownership to it? Is it?
Why do I get hot and bothered? I mean, look.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's a you thing, you know, and that's you're not bothered by it.
I have to imagine it's you know, when the first Assassin's Creed came out, a lot of people really loved them, latched on to
so that's
the gameplay and everything. Yeah. So as they've come along, you know, there's a lot of people. Assassin's Creed Black Flag, people love that game, and I don't think it's a bad game. But the last one that I actually was like truly invested in was Assassin's Creed 3.
Was that not Black Flag?
No, that was Black Flag was 4.
Oh, okay.
So I have to imagine what it is there's a lot of people out there who really love this franchise, and because it's been around for such a long time at this point, there's probably some sense of, this is what I want them to do with the franchise. This is where I want it to go. And so there's this expectation of, oh, I can't wait to play this game in, I don't know, Iran, for instance. And then, you know, what you're, as a game player in your mind, you're kind of like, okay, this is what the game's going to be like. This is how I'm going to play. And then it comes out and it's not what you expected. And so for you, you're now disappointed because of what you know, as the game player, you're kind of like, this is what I had planned on doing. And so I'm sure there's probably a lot of people out there who, you know, they probably were like, Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to be in Japan, finally get to play as a Japanese character. And then it's like, oh, we're going to have this character who is historically, there's not enough information to actually determine what he really was, outside of being a circus attraction for Nobunaga at the time. Historically, that's the only thing they can really tell you, is that Nobunaga had him in his party because he was a black guy, and it was unseen in the country, and so he would take him along with him as kind of a circus act to be like, hey, look at what I've got within my group that nobody else has.
Okay.
And beyond that, they really don't know a whole lot about Yasuke. So it's just kind of strange, but we've always had Karens out there in the world.
Yeah.
And I think they're always going to exist, unfortunately.
So stupid. I hate them.
And Meatball, one of the things
Stupid, I
too
hate
is that like being a music fan, every band puts out an album that the fan base revolts against. At least
Jesus
one.
Christ.
If
My
not,
God.
they just completely change entirely, and then the fan base revolts, right? So I guess I'm just kind of used to it that way, that it's like, okay, well, just don't buy it, and then maybe in 10 years you'll return to it and you'll like it. You know, don't get all mad about it. It's their right to make whatever they want, right?
Jesus Christ.
And that's
My
what
God.
I think about with video games too. But maybe I'm off with that. I don't know.
I mean, it's just
stupid. I hate
it's just like movies. I mean, Snow White came out this weekend. I have no interest in seeing it. I'm not going to go see it.
What?
If people want to
Yeah,
go
I thought
see
you
it,
saw every movie.
It looks pretty rad.
no, I have no interest in watching that one at all. I'm honestly kind of sick of the live action remakes from Disney.
Yeah, me too, actually.
The only reason they're doing them is because they're live action. They don't have to pay the original creators because they're classified under something else.
My question would be, how many people in Scotland, for example, got upset at Braveheart? Because there's very little historical documentation to support the plot points that happened in Braveheart, but
Right.
They don't have
Was all
TVs
of
in
Scotland
so it's
upset?
okay.
It probably
based in
brought more
Scotland, so
attention to their history and their culture than they've ever gotten
Sure,
for a
yeah.
while.
You're going to try and tell me, Eric, that Mel Gibson did not actually ride across the fields
Well,
yelling freedom in a kilt?
I mean,
Eric is a proclaimed expert on Scotland, not on Japan, but on Scotland, and he told me that they were all too drunk to remember it the next day. That they were mad.
That's what I said. That is
Yeah.
what I said. I've spent more time in Scotland than Japan, to be sure. So
You are a resident expert on Scotland and Japan now, actually, because
I guess.
But you can't send him to China.
no, but he is an expert on China.
Republic of China, you can. 'Cause Taiwan, which I've been to, lived there.
Which he's been to.
All right.
So no, I don't really see to summarize, I don't really see the controversy. So you can play a Garage Gamer, go get it, and that's also how it is.
Yeah, I just want
I'm surprised you didn't play it.
How
Yeah, I'm
fast?
surprised no one here has played it.
How
Yeah.
fast does it take to
Thumbnail
get to the
frogs.
lesbian stuff?
I think it's right.
That's
In
what I
it
wanna
looked
know.
like a cutscene. It's got to be right away.
You got to get past the 2-hour credits in order to
Yeah,
get that.
first they make you watch the 2-hour
Yeah.
credits, and then that's the twist at the end.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
It's just a short Google search away, apparently.
So funny.
Interesting. I don't know. I got a lot of thoughts in my head, but they're not really like even YouTube appropriate. So we'll move on.
Uh-oh.
Mhm.
Uh-oh.
We can record them on the VHS player.
All right. What is Lakerian still? We have to remember that someone saying they love this game has the same right to exist as someone saying they hate it. I think saying either is wrong where the line gets crossed. Yeah.
Well, I think Alikrian, my biggest, I get what you're saying totally, and I agree with that. My thing is, I don't like it when a person who makes something gets pushed into changing it because they've offended people if they didn't set out to do that right away.
Mhm.
Right? Like that's the thing is like if you release something into the wild because that's where you felt it was done. And games are hard though because especially these games, there's hundreds of employees involved in making them, right? Hundreds of artists and all this stuff. But it's tough when it gets released and then people say, or it gets leaked that it's getting released, and then people say, I don't like it, and then the person who's the artist or the designer goes back and says, well, shoot, we better change it because people are mad.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Like, I just kind of feel like it's like,
Yeah,
just
it's a little
release it
slap
if
in
you
the
don't like
face.
It
Yeah,
seems
yeah.
like it a little bit to me, but that's me. And one of the reasons I don't release my music is because if I look back at what I would have released 20 years ago, current Travis wouldn't agree with the mindset I was in 20 years ago in the music that I would have released then. So I'm kind of glad that it's always just been for me.
I don't release my rap music because I know how to put Eminem to shame. So
Right. Well, there's that too. You don't want to embarrass everybody else.
I think we should just get more hot lesbian stuff and call, keep going.
well, I believe there's AI programs where we could actually all become hot lesbians. You know?
I don't know.
Yeah, and then we're just
That's-
influencers at that point.
All right, we'll move on.
As long as you're wearing cat ears.
All right. I do want to mention South of Midnight has gone gold,
yeah.
you guys.
That did
And
look cool.
They have announced the release date. It's coming up really quick here. So if you
April
want to
3rd.
pay for early access, which I don't think any of us are, but it is April 3rd. I don't know if that's a $100 copy or not. Usually they are.
Don't buy games you haven't played. I
Yeah.
stand behind that.
But global launch.
Don't play games you haven't played. What do you mean by that?
I mean, okay, what do I mean by that? Don't buy games that aren't out yet. Buy games
okay.
you can play. That's what I mean to say.
Okay.
Global launch is April 8th, I believe, going to Game Pass. So I think I'll check this game out.
You mean
but
don't
no.
pre-order, Eric.
Don't stop
don't
pre-ordering
pre-order.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't buy
Early
a
access
physical
isn't
copy either.
pre-ordering though. It's the right to beta test.
Don't do that.
I think, right?
That's even worse.
I think so too. But whatever.
Well, and
Again,
it's going to be on
makes
Game
people happy.
Pass, so wait till the 8th.
You, like Cyan said, that the market decides, but we're circumventing the market here in some ways that are, I think, crucially
Yeah.
important. You need to be able to play the product, not just watch the trailer for the product.
Is this the comment?
Before you make a, I don't remember. No, he actually said the market decides at some point.
Oh, okay. I missed that comment.
Yeah. Yeah, he said the market does decide.
All right. So yeah,
I don't mind if people pay for early access, whatever.
Yeah, people will continue to make bad things.
I paid for early access for MLB The Show.
You did, yeah. Now, what I would be curious about is if you pay for early access and you decide that you want to refund it, does that void you of the refund stuff?
Void you?
Like, does Steam alter their refund policy and all that stuff?
That I don't know. I didn't get the. I got
Yeah, I don't
this
know that
game. I got
either.
on PlayStation, so I don't even know if Sony
Yeah.
had the same return
Now-
policies.
Now, Chris had said it's going to be on Xbox Game Pass, right? So just wait for that. I haven't done the Xbox Game Pass thing. Are they the full games when
Yep.
you do? Like, do you have all the options and everything?
Full game, you have all the options, everything.
Okay, so it's just like installing the game.
It's
fresh
just
off
a subscription
Steam or whatnot.
service.
Okay.
And I mean, I've
Okay.
seen a lot of articles lately. They're like, "Oh, Game Pass is getting worse because this game that's been on there for the last 4 years is going off." And it's like, if in 4 years you were paying for Game Pass and you never once downloaded or played that game, and now that it's leaving, you suddenly care about it.
No, look at Meatball Saucy's comment. Like, yeah, I will tell you exactly if it has something good and it's worth playing. I will tell you I like it or not. And Meatball Saucy's the same way. It sounds like.
Well, there are plenty of adult themed games on Steam. You don't have to wait for this one.
Some of them are really
Get a
yeah.
different
There's-
one.
There's so
There's
many of
really
them
a lot.
that's all it keeps recommending to me, and I don't
You can
know
turn it
why.
off in
I'm
preferences.
guessing. Oh, you
Turn it off in
can?
preferences.
Okay, then I should, because I can't figure out what game. Oh, actually, I bet I know. I bet it was Leisure Suit Larry Remaster.
Yeah, that will cost.
I bet you that's the game in my
That's
library
pretty
that is
tame, though.
constant. Is the
What's
reason
on
why it keeps.
Steam.
Well, yeah, it's way tame, but I can never figure out why it keeps telling me that I want to play this game with girls in cat ears making out or whatever, like some dating sim or whatever it is that they keep throwing at me.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was Life is Strange, but now that we're talking through it, I bet it was actually
my favorite thing on pre-ordering games. Side tangent, like I don't know what year did Halo 2 come out? 2000.
Was it 2 or 3?
2002, 2003. I remember like going into EB Games at the time before it got bought out by GameStop.
2004.
You know, they were always pushing, yeah, you need to pre-order this game. Like, no, I don't want to. And at the time, this is in Salem Mall. Like, they had EB Games, and then in the other building, they had GameStop. Release date, I just walked into GameStop and picked up a copy because they ordered enough. Like, what a concept. I went over there, and then then as the way out through the mall, I went by EB Games, and I just went, hey, I got my copy over at GameStop because they had it in stock. I didn't have to pre-order it. But that was before, like, now it was a different animal back then.
Is there anything you would like to pre-order today? That was always the question at checkout.
Yeah.
At EB Games, like, is there anything that you'd like to pre-order today?
Right. That was their business model. Everything was pre-ordering.
Right.
But it's because they saw it as a guaranteed sale.
Yeah, they didn't want to take
so why would we need to have more stock if we know exactly how many copies we need?
Yeah, I think in the digital age you don't need to anymore.
Well, where it turned me off was with Baldur's Gate. Going back to Baldur's Gate, it was actually Baldur's Gate because I pre-ordered that so that I could get it. The game was delayed many times over, and then it was released, I believe, on Christmas Eve. And if not Christmas Eve, then maybe it was like the day before Thanksgiving. There was some holiday that coincided with its release. And so I remember in Salem Baldur's Gate 1. Yep, waiting for that game to come out because I'd pre-ordered it, and for them to say, "We don't have enough copies of the pre-orders, and we're just letting everybody know to satisfy the pre-orders."
That pissed me off so much, yeah.
And so I was fine because I had pre-ordered it, way back when it was like kind of announced. I had just done it when I was in there, and then I said, "If you don't have enough copies, then I'm never doing this again. Like, there's no point in this now." Because you knew how many copies to procure, and you couldn't get enough CD-ROMs to make everybody happy here. So I'm out. And that was it. That was the last time I ever did.
Anyway, I think there's more to this conversation because I think even back at that time, like they could have predicted how many copies they would have sold.
Oh, they knew.
I think it's a cop out saying
no. They blamed it. They blamed it on
it's a guaranteed sale, but
they blamed it on BioWare. Yeah. They blamed it on BioWare because and now there was that game kept getting delayed, and then they finally just said we're releasing it now. It went gold, and then they pushed it out to the stores like in 2 days. So I do believe that there was a problem where it was actually getting, from manufacturer to EB Games to the store level. I do believe that because it was super, super delayed time and time again. And then we had that holiday coming up. So, so my guess is that that's what happened. But to your point, I do think that it could have been managed better. And that's why I was out, right? Like I just said, no, I'm not doing this again.
It fits nicely in the physical media. Well, yeah. Hopefully, you guys watched my video about the physical media stuff. I'm gonna wait till Eric comes back here.
Yeah, because it's an Eric thing.
I mean, if we go back to the pre-ordering, the last one I think I pre-ordered was Aliens Colonial Marines, the collector's edition, because I wanted the statue.
Oh, nice. What was the statue on that?
It was Ellen Ripley in the.
Ellen Ripley. That's in Isolation.
Yeah, but no.
You said Colonial Marines.
Yeah, it was from the Aliens. It's a scene where she's in the big old suit with the.
Oh, the power loader.
Yes, it's the power loader with Ellen Ripley.
Yeah.
Now I'll be a complete hypocrite. Where I would break. Like right now, is if in the hardware world, I was able to secure a spot and reserve a piece of hardware, like say a processor or a video card that I wanted. I would do that now just to get in line. Right? If it was guaranteed to me that your line number 50, put your money down, we'll ship it to you once you get fulfilled. Because right now, this whole like, oh, inventory dropped and you have 2 seconds to click and get it in your cart and check out.
Yeah.
I'm done with it. Right. So I'd rather just go ahead and say, I've already clicked and added it to my cart. Just ship it to me when it gets to me, but promise me that I'm a certain place in line. Right. Like then, so that's technically pre-ordering. I would do it for hardware that I wanted.
Speaking of that, April 2nd, have your laptops open or your phones open, because that's when the Switch 2 is dropping.
Do you think so? Or has that been announced?
They're gonna have their live stream, so we gotta.
Oh, okay. So
we gotta have our credit cards ready. Let's go.
So I'm curious, when it comes to Switch 2s and things like that. I know that the PS5 was like out of stock for forever, but I thought that was because of pandemic stuff.
We're gonna see what can happen. Yeah.
With these consoles, has that been kind of the way that it's worked? Where like they're out of stock for forever until they finally get in stock?
This latest generation, they were out of stock right at the beginning, but they've caught up. So now you can find an Xbox, no problem. I think PlayStation is kind of like the same issue or same thing now. PlayStation's outselling Xbox like 4-1 or something.
No, but you can find them.
Switch had the issue at the beginning too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out.
And for how long does that last usually?
Well, Switch had a second long tail of its demand problems during the pandemic.
Okay, so I'm saying pandemic, before pandemic. So back with the 360, it wasn't a problem. Well, it was actually. The 360 was a problem for like a good 2 months or so. We couldn't get one.
The Switch 2 might be the biggest launch of all time coming up.
I got a Virtual Boy sale, so that was pretty easy for me to get.
But now they have so much install base with the Switch 1 right now. So many million people playing it. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but this launch is going to be crazy. Okay. Unless they bomb it here. And I know like Eric's wasn't interested when I posted the video earlier, but I'm telling you, when this comes out, it's going to be real hot. It might be hotter than anything we've ever seen.
Would you say that it's going to be bananas?
We just saw the Assassin's Creed cutscene. What do you mean it's going to be hotter than anything you've ever seen?
Okay,
I was hoping Assassin's Creed Origins on Switch 2.
I was hoping I had the video for the Switch still on here, but I guess I deleted it.
Well, where's your physical media thing?
What's that?
Where's your physical media video?
Oh, well, you can go watch it on my channel. I will say it's doing a lot better than I thought it was. Okay. So people are interested, but let's talk about it here. I want to share my screen. There we go. And let me know if my video gets delayed or something here.
Oh, yeah, disk rot. I did see this.
Mm-hmm.
But the more amazing thing about this, if you guys haven't read it, I link it also in my video here. But yeah, talking about disk rot, the comments are again, I love, this is going to be great YouTube because we're going to read some of the comments here.
Okay.
And, Eric, go ahead and let's hear your view on the physical media real quick. I mean, do you think disk rot is a problem? Should we be worried about it?
Assuming I can go get my copy of Batman and put it in my DVD player and see if it's rot. But all my CDs work just fine.
Okay.
From 1994.
I had CDs from 1994 that did have holes in them. I did have them.
I bought lower end rewritable discs and had burned a bunch of the.
I'm talking about original media, not.
No, I'm talking about original media myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that those discs I had.
We're not talking about your VHS porno collection.
No, this was my Dreamcast collection.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
But I actually don't think that it's a problem, even if it exists, right? Like so in a way, that kind of, to me, that kind of encourages the idea of physical media collecting, because if let's say 10% of the, or even 90% of the discs all start to deteriorate, that only increases the value of the 10% that stand there. So if you're one of the lucky ones whose copy of, say, Baldur's Gate stays, 20 years from now, that's going to be worth a ton if it can still be installed from, right?
That's assuming you're collecting for value rather than collecting to have the media that you want, right? It's
right.
different.
But I think you're doing both always, because it's an asset that you obtain, that you hold, that goes towards your net worth. All of our assets go towards our net worth.
Sure.
Including the silverware in our drawer.
All right, but let's read some of the comments here because it'll be good. It says this is a story about 2 years of faulty manufacturing. So there's Warner Brothers is issuing, reissuing movies that actually had this, but they're saying this is a great way to get clicks. Don't worry about physical collection; we'll be fine years to come. I'm getting that a lot. Like a lot of people are not worried about this.
Sure. Yeah.
Blu-ray discs, PS5 are printed on have the shortest life expectancy and are only estimated to last around 20 years under ideal conditions. Wait, what? So you're saying in about a year, all PS3 discs will start to rot? I have a hard time believing that. I just checked some of my PS3 launch games, Resistance and Project 8, and they still look great. I think they're talking about PS4, bro, or PS5s. Let's get some good ones here. Disc rot will not be visually discernible, but functionally.
Yeah.
So you'll have to try. Yeah, some people. He's saying you need to try the discs to see if it actually works. They've been talking about disc rot regarding 90 CDs for decades. I'm still trying to find a single person who has music CDs that have rotted.
I had Metallica's Master of Puppets and Injustice for All. Both those had holes in them and they skipped. You could see them if you held it up to the light. I no longer have those CDs. I had to replace them.
But J-Rod, did you try them all? I hope mine are okay. I got some too. I hope mine are okay.
Yeah. I mean, now those are the two that I had. Now, could the sun have, you know what I mean? Could sun exposure have caused, or, it caused that to speed up? I did not take great care of them.
Yeah, and CDs.
It was probably from watching that scene from Assassin's Creed Shadow that describes.
I'll bring it back if you guys get bored here.
I find this article a little misleading.
I'll bring it back.
No, it's fine.
The high capacity, the less space between the pits on the disc, the more prone to chemical destruction. There's no surprise. Therefore, double-layer Blu-ray PS discs will suffer the most, while CDs will age quite well. Chemical stability is something the manufacturer learned over time, so the earliest CDs, DVDs, and Blu-rays will suffer from disc rot much harder than those discs released a few years later. Don't expect that your PS1, PS2, PS4 disc will fail due to disc rot anytime soon.
Yeah.
I think there's quite a difference between saying around 20 years and then at least 20 years. Blu-rays only last 20 years. The PS3 is nearly 20 years old. Yeah, it sucks, man. Physical media. I just want to know, like, everyone's writing these comments like maybe they were hoping to get read on YouTube, so that's what we're doing. Who has the time to do all these comments? Digital games afflict my wallet. Yeah, physical do too. Maybe this is their way of making everyone go digital. Then they will be able to charge as much as they want, as they like on their stores. Maybe is this a conspiracy, you guys? I had that sound clip all ready to go. So, what did the article say? A normal CD takes. I'll have to pull it up here. 50 to 100 years. It's the Blu-ray, the PS5 Blu-rays that's got the high laser, I don't know, capacity to do more gigabytes on it. Those are the ones that are going to fail the fastest, is what I understand.
Sure.
My physical collection is all fine. If you take care of things, they will last. You guys don't take care. I take care of my stuff, but you don't.
I had a DVD fail, and it looked fine, but it just wouldn't load. And that's one out of, I don't know, 150. That's the only one that I can point to that's failed.
So what it sounds like, this is why you think that digital media is better than physical, then.
Yeah, Meatball. Yeah, normal CDs should last that theoretically. Are we going to be around 100 years from now?
Well, let's revisit this topic in 100 years.
That's fair.
Yeah. Sure. This is farming. Yeah, I think my age. I think at my age, shall worry at my own rot. Any disc I buy now will outlast me.
Well, it is Old Gamer 999.
Old news. I knew this about 20 years ago. Back in 2003, when I was a junior member of the IT service team at my large employer, I visited a supply of media. I seem to recall, for example, that we were migrating away from these servers. They gave us a presentation, all the various media we use, and they were not suitable for storage due to the material decaying.
Right. Yeah, he's correct. Yeah, I was.
They were not. They were not a reliable media for backing up our corporate data. Right. This was around the time I remember digital games taking off on PC with the introduction of Steam. So this disk rot issue isn't news. Well, it was a new issue. I think it was a kind of a shocker for me. So
interesting.
That's why I made a video about
it. I said, I knew about it. So yeah, it's interesting.
It's been said, entropy always wins.
But and what was that clip from last year? I didn't realize that they were making a new Tron movie, but Eric was like, "Oh."
Hold on, what does Euromastrix say?
Okay, hold on. Take care of things, you'll be fine. Was this a bad campaign to start getting people to go digital or what? I mean, probably it's probably gonna happen eventually, but I like my physical. I'll hold on to it as long as possible. It's a conspiracy. We're just gonna go digital. I hate to break it to you, but 90% of the people buying games are buying it digital already. Oh, we get some weird people chatting on.
I just wanted to know what Euromastrix had to say because I have a Euromastrix lizard in the other room.
Oh, okay.
But his opinion was
misleading article is misleading. Laserdiscs are also supposed to have really bad disk rot. In reality, most Laserdiscs are fine, but it's usually a case of certain discs made at certain times in certain plants that are just affected, just like the WB DVDs. Writable media, that's another thing entirely.
Chris.
Yeah, that's Chris.
Yeah. Jeez.
I just wanted my Dreamcast collection to stay around.
We can get into our VHS porno collection,
This is a common boogeyman in collector circles. I'll just say, as someone who owns over 1,600 disc-based titles, some older than 30 years, I have never, ever, or experienced disc rot. I restore the games myself as a hobby, and I'm looking at discs constantly. I'm sure it's real. Everything dies, but way overblown. How is it way overblown? Like this again? This is the first time I've ever heard about this.
This goes back to the 1%, Travis, that complained about games. Only 1% of people experience disc rot.
Yeah,
this guy has proven it right now. Yeah. We have factual data to back it up.
Yes,
and even when I think back to the two discs that I said Master of Puppets and Injustice for All, I think it was honestly only Master of Puppets.
You're welcome.
Yeah, did you keep it in the case, or did you have one of those case logic You're constantly
kept
bringing
it
it in and out the
a
sleeve.
kept it in a case. But dude, no, it was that if you held it up to the sun, you could
Yeah.
see little pinholes through it.
Sure.
Like it was clearly something had happened.
But if
I just
any
bought
disc
it
was going to
again.
get abused, it was going to be that one. It was going to be put in your car and constantly
Yeah.
taken out of the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I said sun exposure could
Sure.
have been a thing, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't care. I just bought another copy of it. Like it was, you just expect that things are going to go bad at some point, right?
Fear mongering at its finest. At least let us have a couple of confirmed cases, and then let's talk about this.
Right? See, 1%. Even he
Yeah.
fear mongering. This article.
Oh, this guy talks about Star Trek. I have a couple of Star Trek TNG discs that have gone a bit cloudy and freeze a bit. That's from a collection of over 1,000 discs. Nothing lasts forever, but it still made sense to buy something once and enjoy it for 30 years. That you trust, but you can find it on a digital store or streamer. Plus, I have libraries of physical DVDs. Yeah. It's inevitable
30
PlayStation
years
is going to
of
go
watching
digital
Star Trek.
soon. But I'm seriously considering this gen if the games they make are even for me anymore. The lack of competition and pricing games. Yeah, okay.
No, that last part was gold.
The lack of competition in pricing games on a proprietary storefront is just another reason why I probably won't bother with the PlayStation 6.
Okay. So that
It's
I
over,
would
Johnny.
argue doesn't matter.
It's over.
Because the pricing is relatively the same from platform to platform to platform. They're pretty fixed. So I don't agree with his last statement or his last concern. He's just bitter and mad. He's mad because of statement number one. Statement number one is the real reason why he's mad. Because he's old and games aren't made for him at all anymore. And he's mad and embarrassed. Then statement number two is to like, and yeah, and then statement number two is like, and because of that, it's also this, right? No. It's because you're old and you feel out of touch, and that's sad, and it's scary.
Just play old games.
Yeah, just play old games. Well, that's what he is doing, right?
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
50% of my collection is still factory sealed. Got some bangers, LOL.
What's the LOL for? Like, why did he laugh out loud over that?
Holy catfish!
Maybe it was.
He was obviously watching that makeout session. He got
It's
some
like-
bangers.
It's like Schrodinger's collection at that point. He doesn't know if it's right or not.
No, but he's laughing out loud at the fact that half of his collection is still unopened. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Maybe he's collecting for value. Like he's a different
Yeah, but why laugh out loud about that?
lulz, for the lulz.
No, I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Nothing about that is funny.
Yes, it is, lol.
No.
I swear some people don't even read the article. Obviously, time rots everything. I am going all in on digital, but I understand why people prefer physical.
We didn't read the article either. So.
Yeah,
Right, exactly. You guys didn't.
That's what I'm relying on these buffoons to do.
Yeah.
I think my body will sadly rot long before all these physical games.
Wait, that's the guy above. It's the same guy.
Is that the same guy?
I'm still
No,
playing.
it's not.
40 years old. Still playing it.
Still playing which one?
Ninja Gaiden.
No.
Well, this guy's got Deep Space Nine DVDs. Yeah, man.
In the slimline cases.
Slimline cases.
Slime
That's
cases.
what he says.
The only
slimline
disc rot
cases.
I've experienced so far is a bronzing effect on a handful of 80 CDs.
Well, I don't think that's disc rot. I think that's something you're doing wrong with your CDs.
He's a chain smoker. Is really what it is.
All my PS1, PS2, and DVD movies are still in great condition. Some defective copies doesn't mean it's happening to all CDs and DVDs, especially the ones that have been treated with great care. Heck, I'm more worried with fire accident or flooding than disc rot.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, of things to worry about in this world, being afraid of dying in a fire or from a flood is a lot worse than just losing some.
Well, yeah, I'd be more worried about like getting
yeah.
having a heart attack or
He could throw a whole bunch of other things in here to worry about.
I think it depends on who you are and where you're at. I mean, I'm sure Dathan's probably more worried about his collection than Disc Rot. Just something happening to his collection.
Dathan doesn't have to worry about it because he's got all cartridges. Right?
Yeah, but if a fire happens, that collection's going.
It's insured. We've spoken about this before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is insured.
He's insured it, as any responsible collector should.
Disc Rot is mightily blown out of proportion.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Wait, hold on. What do you say? It's like 1,000,000%? Oh, well,
I don't get what he's saying right there. He's replying to somebody.
Yeah, I think so.
Now we're getting people replying to other people.
Cool. And now we're replying to them. So we're just we've joined the circle jerk at this point.
Right as everyone is trying to push you to go all digital, where everything costs more and they just can wipe a game from existence whenever they choose, this starts doing the rounds. Okay, this is a great comment. What an incredibly convenient coincidence. Oh, yeah. Where's my X files? I don't have it ready to go now. But that's a conspiracy.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. But then Donkey Fantasy comes in to reassure everybody it's not a conspiracy. Because if like anybody knows about it, it's Donkey Fantasy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you would know.
Oh, this put at the gates is saying that this is the biggest shill article for Sony
I've ever seen. Yeah, did they pay for this article? As soon as their next digital sale is on, I'm sure you'll be telling us all about it as usual. LOL. He did another LOL for Travis.
I don't get it. Well, hold on. Let's see. Maybe this is funny. I'm sure you'll be telling us all about it as usual. LOL. I mean, maybe he finds that scenario funny. Like he's imagining him coming back and telling us about the digital sale. And he thinks that it's funny. I'll give that LOL a pass.
Sure, it's all on the level for this to be being talked about right now.
This guy's
unconstructive feedback.
Wow.
I want to know what unconstructive feedback.
Because all of this stuff was so constructive.
I want to go. So this is like comment 54. How many comments are there? Jeez.
There's lots.
100. We could just keep going.
You can leave a comment.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Well, I'm not worried about it. I will keep buying games on Steam.
Yeah.
It's and let Ultimate Ascension be the last physical copied game I bought. That's not true. The last one I think was actually Vampire the Masquerade. Or World of Warcraft.
Do I sound okay, you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
What? I can't hear
you. Right. You've ruined it by saying that. The what ruined it? LOL.
All right. Let's see. Moving on. So, all right. Actually, let's get one more final roundtable. Are you guys worried about disc rot with your collections?
No.
Chris?
No, not really.
The one I'm most worried about is I've got Windows XP physical.
Oh,
unopened.
And Windows XP is the best.
Is that on disk?
It's
still
on
disc,
wrapper.
Yeah. No, because it's been installed. But if my Windows XP goes away, I'm in trouble because Windows XP is the best.
It's the best.
It is the best. Everybody knows.
Meatball, just get it on Switch and it'll be on a cartridge and you won't have to worry about it, right?
Well, wait. Actually, that's a question. So we have a Switch, and my kids can buy digital, and so Nintendo embraced the digital thing as well. Right?
He might be talking about the show. I'm not sure. Are you talking about the game or the show?
The show.
I will say the cartridges though. My dog got a hold of one of my games and it still plays fine.
Oh.
Can all of the Switch games fit on a cartridge? Like the cartridges are small, like, or do you have to go get download content to install them? Like, do they have to reach out and install?
Most of them do not.
Yeah, okay. I think almost all of the ones that I have.
Okay, the game.
Once I throw them in, it's on the cartridge.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
There
it's
are
a
updates.
it's
Sometimes it'll grab an update if it wants to
Yeah.
update
Sure.
your game, but you don't need the update to play.
But like all of
Wizard.
Breath of the Wild fits on the little cartridge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Eric, are you worried about disc rot in your games
No,
or your media,
No,
or your? Do you have a Laserdisc collection, or
I don't have Laserdisc now.
do you have
I've got CDs, DVDs,
Vinyls?
I've got Blu-rays. I've got vinyl.
the vinyls have laser rot?
Vinyl's tough. Like I just
Vinyl's
bought.
tough because it just is set to degrade straight away by
Yeah,
use.
vinyl's
Right.
tough. Like I bought
Yeah.
an album that was warped.
Mm.
Pulled it out of the sleeve, and it was warped in a certain way that when the needle drops on the first track, it skips like the first half second of the track. And does that bother me? Yeah, it bothers me a lot. Are there fixes for that? Yeah, there are. A heat gun and a couple panes of glass, I could probably fix it, but I just haven't gotten around to it. It's kind of a mixed bag with vinyl, because part of what you're getting with vinyl, at least for me, is the experience of something that isn't identical to everybody else. Like the crackle is part of the appeal to me in vinyl, but that crackle can very easily turn into a skip, and that pisses me. And so you end up walking this fine line of like, oh, I'm enjoying this, to, oh, now this is really pissing me off. And I don't, there's no like justification that's rational for me to tell you guys that this is a good choice. It's not. It's probably not rational, but you know, I'm not buying vinyl for rational reasons, I guess. But that's okay too. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I've got 3 vinyls coming on Tuesday.
Are you going to open them and listen to them, or are you just going to collect them? Okay.
No,
Cool.
I got.
I mean, either way, it's fine.
soundtrack.
Judgmental either. I was just wondering if you're a listener, if you're just a collector.
Oh, I'm a
Good
listener.
judgment.
I bought an actual turntable so I could listen to and everything.
What'd you get?
But
Turntable. What?
Oh God.
Do we know?
Did you get Dune? Did you say you got Dune?
Yeah, I got Dune, the Batman soundtrack, and then
Batman '89.
no, the one with Robert Pattinson.
Oh
that
yeah,
had,
that's a good soundtrack.
They play on the
and
Fisher
then
Price photograph.
Mad Max Fury Road. No, I the turntable I got also has an 8-track player on it.
Sweet.
That's fun. I've got some 8 tracks. I've got some Johnny Cash 8 tracks.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
looking
Get
to
some
offload 'em.
Conway Twitty 8 tracks. You're off to the
I got a lot
fair,
of
dude.
problems with you people.
Yeah.
So it was one I'd found online and ordered it, came in, and it's a good turntable.
Cool.
But it has 8-track player on it too, and I'm just like, well, maybe if I ever come across 8 tracks, I'll pick one.
You are buying a lot of stuff right now, Chris. I like this. I don't know how long it's going to last, but
Well, when I come back next week with a bankruptcy note,
Yeah. And we'll know why.
well,
that's okay. You're having fun.
that's what it's about.
Should I go to this? Speaking of bankruptcy notices,
Yeah.
I was saying they were going to do a brown and yellow Wolverine, and
Mm-hmm.
sure enough, he hasn't gone up for pre-order yet. It's like, dang, I'm not going to buy this, but I'm almost kicking myself. Like, should I have waited?
I thought you said that you wanted the blue one instead. No, you wanted the
Did
brown? I thought you
See,
did.
now
but maybe-
you always want what you can't have. Or,
Yeah.
You know, I already spent the money on the blue and yellow one, but now the brown and yellow one's going to come out. And he's got a different head. Do you see the head where he's
got 4.
got part? Oh yeah, but I'm talking about the one where his like part of his mask is on his eye or something going on there.
Yeah.
That looks cool. He's got another shirtless body for Chris.
Yes, that's what I'm all about. Yeah, no, Mondo toys are great looking, but I will not spend money on those things.
You'll spend money on other stuff.
If I can get it on
Records?
sale,
Yeah.
I didn't
Okay.
spend a lot. I didn't spend $250 on a record.
No.
You need to find a deal.
Maybe I'll go on
Wow.
eBay. Somebody will have Mondo for less than
But
what we were just sold.
I know Dathan's not here, but WonderCon is they're doing a lot of stuff there. I know Iconic Arcade is there right now, and there was a couple streams about it earlier. But I want people to go over to the Mondo booth and take some video. They probably will for tomorrow. And I'd like to see what this guy looks like in person, just so I can, I don't know, maybe I can say I don't want it.
Yeah.
I need to save I'm saving my money right now for Switch 2. Yeah, there you go. You're welcome. And then speaking of Switch 2, did you guys see this? And Speed, my old college roommate, posted in the Discord. He thought this was lame. That the Mariners are going to have Nintendo on their sleeve, and then they don't have it here, but the away uniforms are going to say Switch 2 on them.
I thought someone said Switch 2 was lame, but Nintendo's fine. Was that Speed?
Yeah, that was Speed. Yeah.
Okay. Let's get the attributions right.
All right. So, all right, Meatball Saucy is a meh. I think it's cool. Like,
I think there needs to be more merchandising. If you're going to go this route, you need to get more sponsors.
If you go, well, and I'll say too, if you go on their website right now, if you try to buy anything Nintendo on the Mariners store, there's nothing. So I feel like they've kind of missed the boat right there.
Mariners fans have so much more to be mad about than just
yeah, we do
some advertising on the uniforms.
It should look like NASCAR. They should just be covered.
It would be the least of their problems, even if they were.
Thanks, Meatball. I appreciate you. But so most of you guys, do you guys think this is lame? Yes or no?
Is this just an appeal to the Japanese market?
I think
the Dodgers are doing that, and it seems to be working for them great.
Yeah, the Mariners own 10% of the Mariners, and they used to be the full-time owner of the Mariners. So there's like a little history there.
Wait, who owns the Mariners?
The Mariners own themselves.
The Mariners.
Nintendo owned them.
Nintendo owned the Mariners.
The CEO of the one of the original CEOs
that's what
of
I
Nintendo
thought.
owned the Mariners. Excuse me.
Right.
But Nintendo still has a 10% stake in the Mariners.
Yeah, throw the badge on there. It's cool. Like I said, they got other problems.
They do.
Get a team. Win some games.
Yeah, they can't hit the ball.
No. Right. Yeah.
But I don't know. That's all I really wanted to get to. I know there's some rumors, Chris, of Steam being on Xbox, but I was like, I don't know. Is it even worth mentioning? Like, I feel like
there was supposedly there was a leak of their new UI update for this next one that came out, and it had Steam on there.
I feel like Xbox changes their mind so much. Like next week they'll have a meeting say, "No, we're not doing this."
It seems like they should not do that. No, it seems to me like they should not do that. I mean, it seems cool to everybody who's got an Xbox, but it seems counter to what Microsoft wants to do with forced Xbox subscriptions, right?
Travis, say you have an Xbox and it now plays Steam. Yeah. Now you can play Steam games on your Xbox, right?
But I already can because I have a PC and everything is an Xbox.
But here's what I'm saying. Yeah. You play a PlayStation 5 game that's on Steam.
I see what you're saying.
You play that on your Xbox. Now you're playing PlayStation 5 games on your Xbox.
On the Xbox.
That is blow your mind.
I bet Sony won't allow it.
They probably won't, but...
Right, because you can't play... Just because a game is on Steam doesn't mean that you can install it to Mac. Right? It has to be cross-platform. So I bet you they just won't allow it. And that sucks. I honestly would love it if all of these games were completely cross-platform and customers could choose hardware based off availability and what it actually does, not based off content that will come out for it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's I just don't see why not. It's beyond that. And the Sony has been killing it with hardware, so you think that they'd be okay with just saying, like, just let it go, you know?
Exactly.
And they are with PC, but for Xbox, they're holding out on that.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, and Nintendo, they won't let stuff on Nintendo either, right? So yeah.
Although they won't. Nintendo won't let their stuff go to other platforms.
Yeah, Nintendo's the worst the worst defender on all of this stuff. They really are.
Hey, at least
So
they
I
make
boycott
good
Nintendo because of
Legos.
that.
That Lego
they let
set
stuff
behind
go to
Chris
Lego,
is
right?
Good, yeah. Keep doing those Lego sets, man.
Yeah, you can.
Did that actually have sound in it? Did you mod that?
No, it has sound.
How's it playing sound?
Oh, man.
In the middle, there's a unit, one of those units that has a battery and everything.
Huh.
So that when I push down
I've
the
never
lid, it like hits the
I don't know
button
if I've ever seen a
on 'em.
Lego set that does that.
I've got a Lego train set that uses the remote control, so you can go forward.
I had a police car ages ago that made siren noises, so it's not new for Lego to make sound.
Okay. All right, I stand corrected. It's
And
I'll say what Meatball
when
said.
Legos are all over the
I was
floor
going
and
to
you
say,
walk on them, they
it
make
will
lots
make
of
sound. You will make a sound if you step on one in the middle of the night.
But yes, I hope we better be getting our Star Trek Lego because I need to make a video about it again, and I need to save some money. If we don't get it, I'll save some money.
Yeah.
But anything else you guys want to talk about? We can cut tonight's episode a little shorter.
Looney Tunes movie that's in the theater right now. If you guys haven't had a chance to see it,
I heard it's
fantastic.
From you,
Really?
Who cares?
Wasn't the last one Space Jam 2 or something like that?
Yeah, this is a good one though.
No.
I know, but that was the last Looney Tunes movie that was in theaters, right? Is there something that I missed?
Jesus Christ! My God.
Well, this one is Daffy Duck and Porky Pig.
Oh,
it's called The Day the Earth Blew Up.
Weird.
I want them to release that Wile E. Coyote movie.
They are
Acme. Well, they're in talks right now. The same independent studio, Ketchup Entertainment, that bought the rights to this 2D animated Looney Tunes, isn't trying to buy the rights.
I don't even understand what was the whole
Acme
thing.
one.
So they made that movie and then they decided not to put it out.
Oh my gosh! I'm looking at
So
the theatrical.
So that's
So
why
they-
people are
poster
upset
on this.
about it.
So they made both the Acme one and this Looney Tunes, The Day the Earth Blew Up. And when Discovery bought out Warner Brothers, they took a bunch of their movies that were either in the pipeline or finished, and they were like, "Oh, we're just going to scrap them and call it tax write-off."
That's a write-off.
But Ketchup Entertainment had heard about this Looney Tunes one, and they paid $15 million to save it so they could actually put it out in the theaters.
So I saw. Okay, so I just looked at the movie poster for that. I actually saw somebody in a social media feed post that the theatrical poster and say this was really good. I thought it was a joke.
Yeah. No, it's really
it's
good.
an actual legit movie. That's funny. No. I mean, I thought that the
But
actual,
you won't go see
movie
Snow
poster
White?
was just an AI joke, right?
Why I'm hung up by the fact why you won't go see Snow White. It's because you didn't like the Disney.
It's live action.
Yeah, but he didn't like the Disney movies that were redone before. So or have you read movie reviews already that said they didn't like it?
No, I haven't liked. So the last live action movie Disney remake I saw was Lion King, and I walked out of it because the photorealistic animals, I was kind of like, you've taken the life that was in the cartoon, you've taken it out of this movie by making them look all photorealistic, and instead it looks like I'm sitting there watching a documentary, and I don't want to watch a documentary.
It's over, Johnny.
So
It's over.
I left the theater because I was like, this is boring. There's no life. There's no soul to this movie.
Did you go to these movies by
And
yourself?
so
Or did you bring a Leakrian or
usually I'll go with a couple of people.
did they leave the movie with you?
Well, that one I went by
Oh, okay.
myself to see. So
I leave movies in the theater, even if I go with people. I just leave, and then they can stay and watch the movie. Like we're all adults, it's okay.
Saucy, you're lucky because like we have the live action Little Mermaid at my house, and my daughter went through a phase where we were watching it every day.
Never seen
it. I have also not seen a live action Disney remake.
So,
not interested.
Okay. But I think
You're
Chris
interested.
goes to see every movie, so that's why I'm kind of like my ears perked up.
Right,
Like,
yeah,
why
that's
did
fair.
you want to watch that one? You literally go
Well,
to see
there's
everything
there's-
else.
there's 2 other movies that came out this week, and I was more interested in seeing. One's called Locked, and the other one's called Ash.
I don't know.
And Locked is Bill Skarsgård and Anthony Hopkins, and then Ash looks like a kind of trippy sci-fi
Maybe
movie.
just watch the movie for your channel. Make a video about it.
I don't watch movies from a channel, Ryan.
Well, maybe you should.
I watch movies for what I find enjoyable.
Okay. All right.
And
Fair enough.
sometimes I watch a movie and regret my life decisions, like Cats, but
Stupid. I hate this one.
I am surprised that you didn't walk out on Cats.
I did.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Not
Okay.
enough buttholes for you.
A half hour of that movie, and I was like, man, we've been here for 3 hours.
Need some of that old man juice.
All right. Any final thoughts, you guys, before we go?
Don't
I want.
games.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Travis,
Stop doing that.
No, I'm still on the fence on this Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now that everybody's so mad about it, it might push it to the front
yeah.
of the
How
queue.
long does that scene last?
No, the scene doesn't do anything to push it to the front of
really?
the queue. That's that's just a
I
day in
want
my
to
normal
hear
life.
the audio real quick.
But the fact that people are so mad about it, I kind of like to throw support at that stuff.
You're welcome, you guys. All right.
See you, Meatball.
All right, Meatball.
Good night,
Thank you
Meatball.
so much, bro. Thank you for the super chat. Saying Spirits. What else we had? Alikrian. You guys stayed with me. J Rod was here. Some guy named Ace Jack's Media Grounds. Yeah, you guys were the rocks for following us along tonight. We appreciate you. Chris, any final thoughts?
Enjoy what you
Well, you guys
enjoy.
do- you
Don't
guys are-
let anyone else
You guys are
tell
doing your thing tomorrow. Your show.
Yeah, Brit Brigade. Bit
Brigade.
Brigade.
The only review that matters is your review.
Was Dathan here? What?
I know my
That's
my
I was-
review
I was
is
trying
the
to
only
share
one that
for-
matters.
on Chris's point, I was trying to interject for Dathan. The only thing
Yeah,
that
it
matters
was
is
the
what you think.
peer pressure, a-hole.
That's right. No, we'll see. Yeah, you don't let the peer pressure affect whether you like a game or not.
So stupid. I hate this.
Unless it's from me, and then you
Yeah.
better.
Yeah,
let
I
it
guess.
affect.
Unless it's
Jesus
from a
Christ,
bona fide
my
expert.
God.
Yeah.
Let's give
Just go play Space Quest 2.
Dathan a
Yeah.
hard time next time he comes back. Yeah. I don't know. He's living that life. He's going to every convention and stuff. So
Good on him.
Oh, there was. Did you guys see the video
J-Rod.
on
Good night, J-Rod.
the Guinness Book of World Records pinball machines? The guy that has the most.
he owns the most.
Tinny.
He owns the most pinball
Didn't he
machines.
open an arcade?
Yeah. And one of the machines he has is like the world's biggest pinball, which was made by Atari.
Oh God! Here
And
comes
instead of
Joe
like a pin, instead of a pinball, it's a cue ball is what's
That's
used inside
bonkers.
of it.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I was watching the video earlier.
Yeah, Atari's Hercules, huh?
Hmm.
Yep, it's interesting looking machine. It looks like you need 2 people to play.
The Atari watch looks cool. I was intrigued by that. The one that played asteroids and stuff.
No, that's cool.
And the price for it's not too bad either.
Can you buy it?
I think it's coming up for
It's
pre-order.
probably made in China, so I wouldn't. But I mean, one could. One could buy it.
You could. You just have to pay your little.
I have to pay
tax
double
on
the
it.
price. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to pay double price.
Yep.
Yeah, it's $80 and it is made in Eric's backyard.
Cool. I've already pre-ordered.
Nice.
Made in Taiwan.
Republic of China.
Yep, Republic of China.
All right, guys, have a good weekend.
night.
I'm on spring break with my family, so yeah, I got the week off.
Cool.
Nice.
Go. So
Do fun things. Go to Bitbrigade.
I can't do that. I'm not going there, but yeah, my wife's got something else going on tomorrow.
Oh, yeah,
I'll be
that's
home
fine.
with the kids, so you guys have fun.
Have some fun.
And yeah. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much.
We're going to Waller's. Dinner
All right.
plans?
Waller's Pizza.
Bring the kids to Waller's.
They do. They like it. Yeah, I really like Waller's, but they
Waller's is the best. It's the best.